In the studio with me right now, I have some people who are involved in a project taking place in our valley. If you may have heard us talk about this, I'm going to tell you the website first because I want you to remember it. The website is Martin Duty Calls. Now, this is a play taking place in our valley. A lot of times, we talk about going to see a play, going to see a musical. We talk about being entertained, but the emphasis on this project is to entertain and educate an audience with the importance of the civil rights movement and to remind us that we are better as a people and as a nation when we have equality, respect, and love one another. It's a conversation we should be having every single day. In the studio with me right now, I have the writer, the director, and a couple of the performers who are here from Martin Duty Calls. Hello, thank you so much for being here today.
Hello,
Hello.
Okay, Roy, I want to talk to you first because this is something very, very close to you, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about Martin Duty Calls and what it is, where it came from.
Well, it came from an inspiration between me and Chaz Ingram, who plays Martin Luther King. We got together and we knew that this story had to be told because he has been doing such a great job as Martin Luther King on the road for many years. And we got together and I wrote this story because it's an important story. I tell people, if you like the movie Selma, you're going to love Martin Duty Calls because it's a really close-up look, entertaining, behind the scenes of what two ordinary people did, Martin and Clarita, and helped change the world, but at sacrifices. So it's powerful.
So you gentlemen, you wrote this together. So you wrote this together. I'm always curious when it's the writing process and you're doing something that's an actual story. This is someone's life, and you came together. What was the thing that you looked at one another? You know the story you're writing. You know the beginning. You know the middle. You know the end. What was the focus of emphasis, or was there a particular emotion or thought that you came to this and said, this is the crystalline moment. This is the thing that's going to pull this together. Did you have that, or were there a number of things? Let me ask you that, Chaz.
Well, there were a number of things, but we wanted to, Roy and I wanted to really take more of a close-up look at the relationship between Martin and Clarita. And that's where we wanted to focus for the most part because so many people know about the movement and all that he did publicly, but we wanted to take a look more at their private life and the relationship that existed between the two of them.
There's a wonderful old adage that says, behind every great man is a good woman.
Is a good woman. That's
and
right.
So she had to be incredibly strong.
Absolutely.
To be that support system for him, to be that sounding board, to be who she was. She had to be an incredibly strong woman.
Yes, she did.
Now let me ask you, Debrion, about portraying her. There were perhaps articles and news stories and photographs. What did you do to prepare to be her?
My main source of preparation was actually her own book, and that is what I used to really be able to look into how she saw things and her perspective as the woman behind the man. But from her book, it was never a matter of her being behind the man, but beside the
She
man.
most certainly was.
And so that is what I used as my main inspiration for tackling the honor of portraying her in Martin Duty Calls, is to make sure that I was giving her the respect that she deserved as that woman that stood beside him in and during everything that he did as a part of the civil rights movement.
David, you portray Martin Luther King, or Chaz, you portray Dr. King.
Yes.
I want to ask you a quick question before I get to David. David, you're the director, forgive me. When you were beginning to think of, all right, I'm taking on this character, I'm taking on this icon,
Yes.
I know that every performer who does a show, who's an actor, there are always the moments where you're exhausted in rehearsals. What was the thing that made you come to this character that was the strength? What was it that you I mean, I know you must come away from the rehearsals, from the show, absolutely drained because you give it your all. But what's the thing that pulls you through? What gives you the strength to portray this icon?
Well, for the most part, for me, it was tapping into the character himself, and that is actually living Martin Luther King. I've done that voice, that character for many years now, and for me, it was actually living in the spirit of Martin Luther King. And that's where I pulled from, just as a kid, even doing that voice, and so studying his life and studying everything that he stood for is what was important to me, and that's what I pulled from, was just his character.
Very lovely. David, as director, when you are working with these, I know they have to be incredibly talented and fine actors to pull this together. Did you find, as you came to the table reads, or as you came to rehearsals, was it an organic process where you let the actors do what they do? Were there things that you as a director thought, oh, I bring this to the table? How was that for you working with your actors?
Actually, the actors actually brought a lot to the characters on their own, and each one of these actors came to me in different ways. First off, when I met Roy, I met Chaz at the same time. And on that first meeting, I was like, okay, I'm impressed with Chaz's demeanor, just in conversation and the way he presented himself. So I was like, okay, I think he can do something. And then he blessed me with a little bit of one of the speeches that he has been doing for years. And I'm like, okay, we're good on Martin. And then when it came to Coretta, I actually met Debrion. We both were in a staged reading of a play. And when I heard her sing in this play, I'm like, okay. And then she has the look that reminds me of Coretta Scott King, and the way she spoke. It was like there was a certain dignity about her anyway. So I'm like, I told Roy, I said, I think I found Coretta Scott King. And then our first stage reading, when everybody got together, we put a cast. I put a lot of people that I knew in different roles. And when we were doing it and they had their first scene together, we just knew. I was like, we did it. I know that there's chemistry here. So it was magic right there. Yeah. So the rest is history. You know, they say the mark of great directing is 90% casting. And I'm like, well, we got that 90%.
It made your job a little bit easier.
Yes, ma'am.
We're talking with the writer, director, and a couple of the cast members from Martin Duty Calls. In the studio with me right now, I am speaking with the director, the writers, and performers from a show it's taking place the March 14th. There are going to be 2 performances. You're going to have a chance to come and see this play, Martin Duty Calls. Now, Roy, you've done this play in other locations?
Yes, we have.
And so this is taking place again March 14th. There's a 3 p.m. matinee. There's an 8 p.m. performance. For tickets and more information, we invite you to visit martindutycalls.com. And again, this is something that's an educational and an entertaining performance, because that's your purpose, to impact the audience that comes. You have some special people coming to see the show, don't you?
Yes, we're really excited about that. We're having the mayor. She's coming in, Mayor McLean, and several city officials. What we're going to also do, which is really unique, besides having this nice, great play and then people just leaving, we're going to give people the opportunity, the audience, to talk back with the mayor and a couple of other officials, and just to discuss how we can kind of bridge some differences. And it's nice to have the mayor there because she can make it happen.
So that's wonderful. Yes. So this is Sunday, Saturday, March 14th, and the show is taking place at the Valencia Christian Church. Is that the location?
At Valencia High School.
Oh, it's at the high school.
Yes, at the high school.
Okay.
in the theater department.
And the tickets are on sale now. Again, you can get these at Martin Duty Calls. The talkback should be, you had your first ever talkback. This was something you did September 28th, 2014. And do you find that with each subsequent talk, wherever you are, whatever, are there similar questions raised? Are you finding that each time you do it, you grow upon the conversation?
Well, yes, we grow up on the conversation, and we also that people really have something that they want to say, and they're glad to have the forum to say it in.
It's very nice that you have the opportunity, again, as you say, to see the show and not just leave.
Right.
You know, you're going to have something to say. You might have questions. And so you're giving people the chance to do that. I think that makes it an even more powerful experience. Let me ask you a question, Debrion. When you have other projects that you do, because as an actress, I know that you and Chaz are both performers. Do you find you have your favorites, your favorite roles that you just wish this could go on forever? We're taking this on the road and...
Yes, definitely. There are those. I think that it's different because of the fact that, again, as we already discussed, having the honor of being able to portray this powerful woman, it makes there's a heaviness to it because of what it was that she endured and experienced with the loss of her husband, of course. And so because of that, as I said, there is that sense of heaviness, but to be able to bring life to it and to give her, again, a voice in a time when everything that she did go through is still relevant, makes it a piece that I am very proud to be able to do as often as I can.
Lovely. Chaz, let me ask you a question. You're originally from Missouri. You live in Santa Clarita, and you started acting in high school.
Yeah.
You visited L.A. by chance, and you had said you had done this character before, basically growing up. This was something that was a part of your fabric. When you came to L.A. by chance, you auditioned for a lead role in a stage play. Can I ask you what that was?
Yes, I auditioned for a role as Tauntaun in Once on This Island. And
It's a beautiful musical. It's one of my favorites.
Absolutely. And it was by chance. I put my headshots on LA Casting, got a call, and within the first week I was in LA, I landed that role.
This is a good story. I like that.
yeah.
You are not only involved in an inspirational piece of work, you're an inspirational person. So
Thank you.
someone listening thinking, oh, I love that. David, you are from Louisiana. And you started your acting career in Washington, D.C.
Yes, ma'am.
And so now here you are in Los Angeles, and you've been involved as an actor, stage manager. You've done tech. You've done everything. You, sir, have paid your dues.
I have.
And you've done some television.
Mm-hmm.
And I just would love to ask you, as from the entertainment aspect, what do you like best?
Well, actually, I love the creative aspect of all of them, but I like directing. I really love directing because I'm able to, shape whatever the project is and help to bring it to life. And the things that I have learned over the years from acting, from doing lighting, from all those other things that I've been doing, I can put that in use when I'm directing in a more complete way, and so everyone that's working under me I can try to help bring them to their top game, so to speak, in whatever I'm directing, whatever project I'm directing. Everyone can benefit from the knowledge that I've acquired over these long
And it's not
years.
like you don't know. It's not like you don't know all the jobs.
Yeah, well, exactly. So it's like being able to speak from a place of not only knowledge but experience and knowing the shortfalls or the difficulties with those things, so I can address things from a place of compassion and authority.
Very nice. Mr. Parker, you are from Los Angeles, and you've been here a while. You have a beautiful story about a mentor who came forward, one of my favorite human beings. I had the chance to meet him, and you have a very interesting background. You had the opportunity to meet Joe Barbera of Hanna-Barbera, and he was someone that helped you, didn't he?
Yes, he was. He was a great man. Just quickly, I worked at a restaurant waiting tables, and he was one of my customers. And I got the nerve up to say, I have a script, would you read it? And he did.
I have to tell you, don't be shy. That's
That's
the
right.
lesson there.
right.
Preparation
Don't be
meets
shy.
opportunity.
And he came back one day and he said, come to my office. And he said, this is rough stuff, but I'm going to send you to USC and let you learn to write animation.
I think it's a beautiful
It was a
story.
great story.
And I love the fact that you, in addition to understanding what it is to have a mentor, someone who, kind of helps you and nurtures and supports what you're doing, you're bringing this beautiful story here to Santa Clarita, and you're returning the favor. You're giving back. You're offering something to the community. I think that's very nice.
You must do that.
All right, again, we're speaking with the cast and the director and the writers of Martin Duty Calls. This is a show that's taking place here in Santa Clarita. You'll have 2 opportunities to see it. Even the mayor is going, so no excuse. You have no reason not to see the show. March 14th, 3 p.m. matinee, 8 p.m. You can go to martindutycalls.com for tickets. And in addition to seeing a very powerful and informational show, you'll have the opportunity to do the talkback after both performances.
Just the
At
3 o'clock.
The 3 o'clock performance. So you're going to want to do that. Tickets will go quickly, so please make arrangements. Again, martindutycalls.com. Thank you all so very, very much for being here. It
Thank
was
you.
a pleasure to have you
Thank
be a
you.
part of this.
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you.